Get ready for Season 5 with your host, Edgar.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time. After 250 episodes of Setup Wars, over 1,250 setups showcased in the past 6 years. But alas, we are finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Setup Wars Season 5. We're kicking off the new season with a couples edition, and boy, oh boy, is it gonna be a banger. So I hope you guys have your glass of wine or your popcorn, because this is gonna be a very juicy episode. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax, because you know what time it is. Guys, we're halfway done with the year, and we still can't find parts to build our PCs. Unless you're using Karma, of course. Karma is a browser extension that will notify you when there is a price drop for the item that you save in your list, or if the item comes back in stock. That way you'll be the first person to buy it instead of paying scalper prices. I've already purchased tons of parts this year just from the notifications alone, but I'm going for the PS5, which is the only thing I want that I still don't have. It's very simple to use. Once you visit the Google Chrome store and install Karma to your extension, you can immediately start adding items to your list from any of your favorite stores. You can have Karma notify you if that product comes back in stock, drops in price, or if it has a coupon code available. You can even create separate lists and organize your wish list, so it's easier for you guys to stay organized. Another cool feature I like about Karma is the coupon feature. It uses clever tech to scan the web for coupon codes and applies them at checkout automatically, so you're always getting the best deal. But this special feature is only available on the computer, so having the Chrome extension is a must. And lastly, Karma just launched a new cashback feature. You can earn cash via PayPal when you shop from select retail partners, maximizing your value. So if you guys like saving the most money possible, or you want to get notified when something you save comes back in stock, then make sure to download and install Karma by using my link down below. Kicking off the new season is Brandon from Florida and his badass gaming den that he built for his wife and himself. This is where they both play games and stream together. How wholesome is that? We got both setups built on a couple of custom stained butcher block countertops and the IKEA drawers on the bottom for that support and additional storage. Let's start with the wifey setup. So it looks like she went with a pink color scheme with a floral mouse pad. She's rocking a single 27-inch Asus monitor with the Mac-G keyboard and mouse combo. That's pretty much all I'm seeing in terms of gaming gear. I'm surprised she's not using any headphones since both stream at the same time. At least it's not mentioned in the notes. Cable management isn't flawless by any means, but I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that Brandon was behind all this, considering his cable management is pretty much the same. I mean, the wires aren't touching the floor, so I guess I'll give them a pass. The PC powering the wifey setup is an interesting custom build. Interesting in the sense that it's got a unique color scheme and 3 sticks of RAM. Okay. Aside from the interesting component selection, we got a fairly budget build in here with the AMD A10 Black Edition processor and the RX 560. Man, I haven't seen an FM2 Plus CPU in ages. Of course, the husband has a better PC. He actually has 2, one for streaming and the other for gaming. The streaming PC has a pretty dope case that I haven't seen before. We got the i7-960 paired with the RX 580, and he built it inside the Wendry computer case rack. It looks pretty dope. The gaming PC sits on the other side of the desk with the Ryzen 7 2700 and the RX 5500 XT. Now onto the setup itself. Aside from streaming, Brandon also works as a market manager, so he built the setup to mainly work from home and do some video editing on the side for his YouTube channel. We got an interesting monitor layout, a 34-inch ultrawide as the main with a 40-inch TV up top as a secondary. However, for streaming, he uses the Microsoft Surface Pro to read chat. I also kind of like how he left some space in between for the ring light. For peripherals, he's using the Razer or Nada keyboard in combination with the Mamba wireless mouse with beautiful cable work going across the desk. And for audio, we got 2 pairs of headphones, the SteelSeries Arctis 1s and the Sony MDR X10s. Maybe his wife uses one of these during the streams. Aside from the headphones, he does have a 5.1 surround sound speaker system hooked up in his ceiling for when he wants to watch movies. That's pretty badass actually. Some other noteworthy things in his room is the full arcade system for Mortal Kombat 2 and the variety of collectibles scattered across the wall shelves. This room is just one giant nerdy man cave, and I love it. Thank you, Brandon, for starting off the show. Coming at number 2 is yet another husband and wife streaming setup. Actually, it's more of a battle station than anything. There is technically 3 setups here. We have 2 identical setups for Daynel and Meranda, and the third setup is used to stream 2 screens at the same time. This means they don't just have 1 or 2 PCs, they have 3 custom rigs because the third one is the streaming PC that's used to capture both gaming PC's video and audio signal. And well, this is what the stream looks like. We got 4 split screens, 2 for the gameplay and 2 for the webcam. That is actually pretty cool. I've never seen this style of streaming on Twitch before. So both setups feature the same gear. We got triple 27-inch 4K monitors, 2 for the gaming setup and 1 for the streaming setup, the Black Widow TE Chroma keyboard, 2 Razer Nari headphones, and 2 MXL podcast microphones. The only thing that's different is the mouse. One is rocking a Corsair M65 while the other has a Basilisk V2 from Razer. Now, from a presentation standpoint, I can't help but feel a bit overwhelmed. There doesn't seem to be any type of organization, theme, or synergy for that matter. It just kind of feels like I have all this gaming gear and I need a place to put it. But you know what? I don't blame them one bit because there's just so much that's going on here. I would probably have a panic attack trying to manage these cables myself. So the fact that they even attempted it is impressive enough. I just feel like the desk itself is the main inhibiting factor here, not to mention the space. They had to build 3 setups next to each other, so that already is a challenge in itself. But let's move on to the PCs that are powering everything, starting with Art's PC. We have a custom loop inside the Thermaltake Core P5, featuring the 3950X 16-core processor paired with the PowerColor RX 5700 XT. There are some questionable choices like going with the all-white RAM sticks with a mix of white, black, and chrome fittings in an all-black PC, but overall a pretty sick-looking system. And then we have Miranda's, aka Snow Bunny's PC, which is actually my favorite out of the 3. It's another custom loop, but inside the Antec Striker case, and she's got the Ryzen 9 processor and the same graphics card from PowerColor. I gotta stop for a second and just say how badass this case is. When I built Mini Red in here over a year ago, I just fell in love with this case. I also appreciate the fact that this build actually has a theme and the colors are consistent unlike the other. And finally, we got the streaming PC inside the H710, which isn't water-cooled, which is okay because the only purpose of this PC is to capture the gameplay. My favorite thing about this room, however, has to be the canvas paintings on the wall. The Ultra Instinct canvas, hands down, has to be the most badass painting I've seen of Goku. Unfortunately, you didn't list where you got that from in the notes, so if you're watching this video, can you please let me know in the comment section because I really want to pick one up myself. But yeah, an awesome triple streaming setup. Thank you, Art and Snow, for sharing this with us. And if you guys want to check them out on Twitch, I'll drop a link to them below. Now here is what I'm talking about. Sweet baby Jesus. We got David and his wife Katarina's Legend of Zelda themed dual setup from Germany. Just look at the presentation, the symmetry, the contrast between the white and black desks. I mean, the personalization and even the lighting. This setup is on a completely different level and I love everything about it already. So the setup took about 2 to 3 months to build with the purpose of gaming, watching YouTube, music creation, and working from home. Let's start off with Kat's setup on the left. It looks like she took the super ultra wide route with the Samsung CRG9 monitor. And then moving on to peripherals, we got the Corsair Strafe RGB keyboard paired with the wireless WorldCat Leader mouse and an RGB mouse pad. I love the extra effort and attention to detail that they put into the setup, like drilling a hole in the desk to pass through the cables, and the way they combined both of the Nintendo Switches together at the meeting point. You can definitely tell there was a lot of planning involved. For audio, they are both using Corsair Void wireless headsets and Audio Engine speakers. Katarina with the A2s and David with the A5s. I just love how they picked the opposite color for that extra contrast against the desk. David's setup also has a Samsung ultrawide, but it's a standard 34-inch instead. I love that he skinned the bottom bezel in black to match the color of his desk. David is also using the same keyboard as his wife, but with a dark core mouse. What I love most about the setups is the personalization that went into it. Not only are both setups separated by a color scheme, but each has its very own custom decorations, like the custom skins on the Nintendo Switches and even the nameplates on the wall shelves. The PC powering cat setup is equipped with the 6700K and the Zotac GTX 980 Ti. It's a shame that it's facing the wall because it's actually a good looking system, but I understand why you did it. The PC powering David setup is a custom water-cooled system with the 8700K and the RTX 2080 Ti. The tube runs are a bit wonky, but it's still a good-looking system. The only issue I see here is that the fans are all set as exhaust. You actually have no intake fans for your PC. The creativity that went into the setup is definitely in the top 10 of setups I've seen on Setup Wars. Almost everything is on point, from the symmetry to the cable management, the lighting. We already know it's got personality, but the execution just barely falls short, and let me explain. This setup was going for a contrasty setup, in case you haven't noticed already. It was going with opposite colors, and it did so well for the most part. On the left, we have a white tabletop with mostly black products, and on the right side, we have a black desk with mostly white products, but they didn't completely follow through. Why not go with a white keyboard and mouse for the black desk, or go with a black PC case with the white desk? Why put so much effort into the contrast theme and not follow through? I mean, David even skinned his tabletop and the Alex drawers in black just to stay consistent, so that's why I'm kind of confused. You put in the notes that you are planning on upgrading your wife's PC, so David and Kat, if you're watching, I want you guys to come back on the show once the upgrade is made. But this is such an incredible and refreshing couple setup. Thank you, David and Kat, for sharing this with us. I swear, these setups just keep getting better and better. Coming up next is Kirin from Malaysia and this epic triple setup for himself, his wife, and his kid. They mostly play co-op games together like Gears 5 and the Elder Scroll Online with a bit of Roblox with the kid, I'm guessing. I mean, unless the wife is also into Roblox, no judgment here. The hubby and wifey setup is built on a single Carably countertop with two different colored Alex units. It has this very chill, homey vibe with the greenery and warm lighting. I love it. You couldn't have picked a better countertop to go with. The Carably complements this setup so nicely. The wifey is rocking a single 27-inch Acer monitor that's mounted to the desk with a SteelSeries keyboard and the G502 mouse. I love the hint of steampunk vibes as well, with that light bulb on the edge of the desk. For audio, she's got a set of edifier speakers, plays beautifully underneath the monitor, but when they are all playing together, she puts on the Corsair HS35s, which she has stored on the top shelf. The PC powering setup is a beautiful white-themed PC, packing the Ryzen 5 3600 and the Zotac GTX 2060 Super. On the opposite side, we have Kirin setup, rocking stacked monitors, which apparently was inspired by my own setup. Nice. He's got a 34-inch ultrawide on the bottom that he games on with a 27-inch AOC up top for multitasking. Moving on to peripherals, we got the CM CK530 keyboard paired with the Logitech G703 mouse. Extra points as always for drilling a hole in the desk for the wires. For audio, he's also got a pair of headphones stored on the top shelf, but he switches to the speakers when watching movies or videos. I love the microphone placement. It's perfectly in between both of the setups, and it looks like a solid boom arm as well with lots of swivel points. Now the PC powering Papa Bear setup is a beautiful custom rig inside the Antec P120 Crystal. It's packing quite the specs as well. We got a Ryzen 7 5800X and the Aura's RTX 3070. Damn. And of course, we can't forget about the little one. How adorable is this? He has his very own setup next to mommy. How cute. The setup might not seem much, but I can guarantee you it outspecs most of you guys watching. We have an i7 7700 in here, paired with an Aura's RTX 2070 Super. It's enough to make a grown man cry. The setup itself isn't half bad either. He's got a single 25-inch monitor with the Orion G610 keyboard and an Armageddon mouse. This entire setup was designed and modeled by Kirin himself, and it's so awesome to see it come to life. I think Kirin deserves the Father and Husband of the Year award for this awesome creation. Such a wholesome submission. Thank you for sharing this with us. If you think we're done with amazing setups, well, think again, because we are finishing up the episode strong with Zoltan's amazing man cave. Have you ever seen a bigger collection of Funko Pops than this? Like, seriously, I think he has one of each that was ever made. This is how he got his wife to marry him. He brought her over one day to his crib and showed him his collection of Funko Pops, and well, the rest is history. So the setup itself is completely custom made from the ground up. The only thing that's not custom made in this man cave is the couch, believe it or not. The desk was built with specific cutouts for cable management and lighting. Zoltan always wanted to build a man cave where he can enjoy most of his day in either working from home, gaming, or just enjoying his massive collection. Well, he ended up building 3 separate setups in his man cave. One for himself, one for his wife, and we even got a console and racing sim setup in the middle. The wife doesn't really game as much anymore, so instead she uses the setup for mostly working and browsing the web, which is a bit disappointing to be honest because it's such a dope looking setup. She does everything on the 27-inch Asus, which is mounted against the wall, and you can kind of see how he went about routing the cables. The monitors have its very own pass-through on the wall, whereas the wires from the peripherals and speakers are routed through the slit in the desk itself. She doesn't use any headphones and instead relies on the Edifier speakers for audio. But if you look towards the top, you will see more speakers mounted against the wall. We got 2 on the sides, 1 in the center, and 2 more in the back of the room for a complete 5.1 surround sound experience while gaming on the console and racing sim setup in the middle. I am impressed. So the wife setup has a mostly white themed color scheme with a matching custom PC. We have the i3 8350K that's paired with the GTX 1050 Ti. That's understandable considering she doesn't really game, so there's no point in going with high-end specs. Moving on over to Zoltan's setup, the man himself. He went with a 34-inch ultrawide that's also mounted against the wall, and notice how they both stuck to mostly ROG gear. He's also using the ROG Claymore with the Chakram mouse. Zoltan also doesn't use any headphones, but he went with the red Luna Eclipse speakers to stick with the black and red color scheme. The custom PC in the corner isn't only powering his setup, but it's also hooked up to his racing sim as well. It's packing the 8700K with 32 gigs of RAM and the Asus GTX 1080. The amount of work and dedication that went into this man cave is incredible. No doubt the setup is dripping with personality as well. You really have to look closely to appreciate the attention to detail that went into everything, from the symmetry to the synergy, and when you combine everything together, you get this masterpiece of a presentation. Job well done, Zoltan, and congrats on taking home the 38th seal of approval, which also happens to be the very first seal from season 5. Absolutely jaw-dropping setup, my guy. Toss an email to setupwarsprizes@gmail.com to claim your new one-of-a-kind plaque. As a reminder, you guys can always pick up a cheap Windows CD key for less than $15. Just click on my link below and use the code TS20 for an extra 20% off. Once you get your CD key, just visit the activation settings in Windows and change your product key. It's that simple. Damn, what a way to end the episode. As always, make sure you guys comment below and let me know which of these setups was your absolute favorite. And if you guys are enjoying the new season, as always, make sure to smack the crap out of the like button to let me know. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing because I do host Setup Wars every single Monday. And if you guys want to get on the show, make sure to watch the video link down below to learn how to enter. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Once again, make sure to check out Karma by clicking my link below if you want to get notified when a product gets back in stock, drops in price, or if there's a coupon code available. Beautiful. Beautiful.